I gotta keep it. It's on a cycle scheme. So a review is not a list of specifications, list of components, loads of details about head angles, fork offsets, numbers of gears, the type of brake pads. That's not a review. A review, I think, is how a bike makes you feel. It's how, I don't know, yeah. It's how a bike, oh, I wanted to climb up there. There we go. That's how this bike makes me feel. I was looking for a climb, and there he is. We got that far. We got up one step down there, and then this one, and boost mode caught me out a bit. I've spun out a bit on this little grassy bank. I'm just gonna put this camera down so you can get an idea how steep it is. I might ride this bit again, see if I can do it. He makes it. How is it cheating? Seriously, is driving your car to work cheating because it's quicker than walking? No, it's a better use of time. You can stay in bed a bit longer, you can get to work a bit fresher, and I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say. It's not cheating. So a review, yeah, it's about an opinion, a feeling, a vibe. Man, yeah, I'm really like it, okay? You can hear I'm a bit out of breath. That's because it isn't cheating. I'm doing a ride now that would normally have taken me twice as long. I couldn't have pedalled it this fast because obviously the motor assist is helping me get around quicker. And actually the motor, if you haven't ridden an e-bike before, it actually encourages a higher cadence of pedaling. So whereas on like a long steep climb you might be thinking you're really working out and having a good deep dig in and, you know, grinding out the gear, actually perhaps a higher cadence, doing it a bit faster. I don't know, perhaps you gym freaks out there might be able to tell me what's better for you. I think fitness wise it's probably better to be doing it quicker. Perhaps leg muscle wise, maybe the slow grind. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, as you can see, I put my name on it. I gotta keep it. It's on a cycle scheme. It's I'm not going to talk too much about the specs, but basically it is a mullet, so it's 29 at the front and 27.5 at the back, and the front wheel is a 2.5 Maxxis Assegai, and the rear is a 2.8 DHR, Minion DHR, which makes it quite a burly beast, quite honestly. And these tyres actually have both got you might be able to read that there, they've both got cush core inserts as well. So I think that alone, the tyres and the cush core inserts probably make this weigh, I don't know, I'm going to guess that's probably about 3.5 to 4 kilos. Tyres are typically 1 point something. It's easily 3.5, maybe 4 kilos just in tyres and inserts. So you see where we're going here. This bike, approximately, because I don't know if my scales work that well at home, I think this bike weighs 25 kilos. Now, I'm going to be honest, that's a little bit heavier than the bike that I demoed. I couldn't demo the Alpine Trail, so I demoed the Rift Zone E, which was a hell of a lot of fun. But it had 1.4, it had 140mm forks, and I already ride 130 on my other Rifty, and everybody seems to be going 160, 170 even. And I thought, if you're going to go for the heavier bike with the battery and the motor, you need a bit more travel to soak up that extra weight when you're going downhill. And my first impressions of riding it, if I can find the clips, I'll put them on here. So, new bike. It's a medium, but it feels like a large. It feels definitely as big as my Rifty. Probably because of the higher front end and extra travel. My first impressions of riding it was, it felt like a big bike. Now, this is a medium, my Rift Zone is a large. It feels probably about the same. I said I wouldn't get into numbers and figures and stuff, but I think in terms of reach, this medium, is only maybe 10mm shorter than my medium Rift Zone, so it's negligible, the difference. And I think if I'd got a large, I don't know, might have weighed half a kilo more, I don't know, but if I got a large, I think I would have been riding a pretty hefty bike around, heftier bike. So there's a lot of technical things I could go into about this bike, but I'm absolutely nowhere near am I an expert on the technical aspects of mountain biking, and I'm certainly no expert on the motors and the power and the battery and all that kind of stuff, so I won't get into that. It's got a big battery on it, and it's got an EP6 Shimano motor on it. Some people don't like those, you know who you are. I have no problem with it, because a friend of mine has been riding with a Shimano motor for about the last 2 years and he's had no issues. So as far as I'm concerned, it's like people having a problem with SRAM and only wanting Shimano. There are other people who swear by SRAM and won't touch Shimano. So horses for courses, potato, potato, tomato, bananas. Sure, it's an e-bike. I can get up stuff a bit quicker. That's great. What do I like about this one? Well, first of all, other than the Rift Zone E, it's the only one I've had a go on. I put off getting an e-bike, put off even testing an e-bike for the last few years, because I knew it wouldn't take me very long once I tried one to get one. It really is a no-brainer once you've tried it, so just bear that in mind. So let's get to the point here. The point is, I have been out this week 3 times on this bike, and yes, there's a massive element of new bike about it, but equally so, there's an element of I can go and do something in an hour which might take me 2. So after work becomes something that I can do the distance, you know what I'm saying. I can get twice as much done in half the amount of time. I can feel a little bit fresher when I get to certain places, and I can enjoy maybe taking a photo or enjoying a sunset. Basically, I've been out on my bike 3 times this week. The added weight definitely makes it into a bit of a workout. I've climbed up these 2, either side of here, these 2 quite steep climbs, and while I've done both of them on a normal bike, doing it on the e-bike clearly is easier. Hiya. Hi. Clearly it's easier getting up those on the e-bike, but both times I've done it, I've gone back down and I've had another go, and the added workout of dragging a bike that's easily twice the weight of my hardtail, and perhaps I don't know, whatever. I don't know what my my Rifty weighs, probably 16-17 kilos. So this is maybe maybe 8 kilos, 9 kilos heavier than that bike. It's a lump. So that's actually one of the downsides of this bike. It is a bit of a lump. I do like to jib about a little bit. I like to do the old like endos, try to do this half cab 180s and all that kind of stuff. And at the moment, I don't know if that's possible for me on this bike. I need to get used to the weight. I need to get used to what it feels like braking and having a 25 kilo bike doing an endo. That's something I actually haven't really tried yet. So there are some things that I need to learn about riding this bike. It doesn't feel like riding a normal bike. I'm getting used to it, but it doesn't feel like riding a normal bike because of the added weight. You're just stuck to the ground. On normal ground, when they talk about you riding a bike and they talk about small bump sensitivity, no such thing as small bumps with this thing. 160, 150, 25 kilos, the small bumps are no more. I think people riding behind me can't feel the small bumps anymore because this thing's flattening them out. I was a big believer when I rode my San Quentin loads that I loved feeling the trail and riding the trail. And then when I moved up to my Rifty, which was 29er 130mm trail bike, I realised how much I was fighting the trail and actually not flowing on the trail so much. This is going to do perhaps the next level up in some respects. It might make some things harder, going down steeper, tighter turns, but importantly, it's going to make the winching up the climbs on the weekends at the Forest of Dean, at Ross-on-Wye in Wales, it's going to make them a lot easier, and it's going to mean that I can do twice as much riding. That is the vibe that this bike's giving me. From a YouTube perspective, it makes sessioning stuff so much easier. It would be unfair of me to do a review without giving you, I don't know, 3 things I like and 3 things I don't like. So let's start with 3 things that I don't like about this bike slash e-bikes, I guess. I mean, firstly, it's making me think about where I ride a little more carefully. Getting this weight over some awkward stiles and fences is not so easy, and there are some climbs which this isn't so good at, and hiker biking isn't really the sort of things that you want to do with this. I haven't come across that so much around here, but I'm sure that's going to happen at some point. Still on the weight front, it's going to be a theme here, is the portability. So getting this in and out of my car is a little more tricky than my other bikes. So it may end up costing me a couple of £100 to get a tow bar and a bike rack. I don't think that would be a bad thing, but it might end up costing me that. And the third thing, I kind of already hinted at the third thing, is what I'm missing at the moment is although I lack a lot of those skills, the jibability. Is that a word? It lacks the jibability that I'd like. So that's the 3. It's making me think carefully about where I go. The portability is a little more awkward and it could cost me a bit more money, and I'm missing at the moment the jibability. Right, 3 things that I like. Oh wow. Well, first of all, I mean, I've been a big Marin fan for a few years. This is my 3rd, after having the San Quentin 3, the Rift Zone 3, and now the Alpine Trail E1. Secretly, I'd always wished I'd bought the Alpine Trail instead of the Rifty, but I always felt the bigger travel would have been quite tricky to pedal up hills, and now the bigger travels, easy to pedal up hills. So yeah, big fan of Marin, and I'm really liking this, and I'm liking the colour. I may have to check my wardrobe out a little bit, because I've got quite a bit of green, because that used to go quite well with the orange on my other bikes, and now I'm looking like a full kit wanker if I wear all my green stuff on this. So anybody want to hit me up with some gear? Hellfair, Matt Jones, go on, sort us out. Anyway, yeah, Marin, love it, great. What else? Obviously, I'm just loving the fact that I'm out 3 times this week, and yes, I'm getting a workout, and I'm feeling an all body workout with this as well. As I've said, the weight, moving this weight of this bike around on climbs, actually guiding this bike around even just some of the local trails here, brilliant. So that's getting me out, which is brilliant, and getting me out on my local trails, which I haven't really been loving for a while. Maybe because I've been feeling a bit unfit, also because I've been going elsewhere and riding trails in Forest of Dean and in Wales and Ross on Wye. They're a lot more exciting than around here. I mean, I love it around here, it's absolutely beautiful, but it's not giving me the bike buzz that I'm getting elsewhere. But this now is allowing me to get that, which is great. So that's good, because it's making me love my local trails a bit more. And the third thing is, it means that the next time I'm out with the Saturday gang, that's not the Saturdays, but that's just my Saturday gang, the next time I'm out with them, I'm not going to be the guy bringing up the rear. But yeah, I'm loving it. So yeah, getting me out on my local trails. Big fan of Marin, the styling, the colour, and yeah, I think what was the other 3 things? Yeah, I'm getting fit, I'm getting out. I don't know, I'm just enjoying it. It's great fun. I got nothing to say about the spec, to be honest with you. I'm sure that as time goes on, I'll start to complain about something on the bike, but at the moment, I got no problems other than a few rattles, which I think is pretty common with e-bikes. Anyway, I gotta go because my dinner's ready. And it's fast! It's so fast!